Does your reader read like this? In this video, I'm going to show you 8 activities that your learner can do to get them reading like a champ. Coming up. Hey guys, it's April from Teach Young Minds. Today is all about reading fluency. Fluency is really important for your learner to master because without it, reading out loud can get awkward, it's painful, and honestly, it can get quite a bit boring. So we want our learners to be reading with expression, we want them to be reading smoothly, and fluency will get our learners there. Learners need to hear what great reading sounds like, and this is where read alouds come in. Read alouds are really great for students to model after. They are hearing you read the words with accuracy, with speed. They can pick up on the tone and expression of your voice, and that allows them to mimic or model it when they're reading on their own. So I would suggest that you read aloud to your students on a daily basis. For example, I added into my routine with my son by reading to him every night, and it's become a really special time. Learners can also listen to audiobooks while reading a story. You could even tape yourself reading books that you have around the house that they really like, and then play it as they are reading the story on their own. That's a great independent activity for them. The next activity to help your learner practice their fluency is by reading in different tones, reading the same phrase or sentence in different tones. And The Mitten is a great book for this because it has a lot of repetition in it. Here in the story, different animals are trying to get in the mitten. This is a really fun book. If you haven't read it yet, check it out. "No room," said the fox. "No room," said the rabbit. "No room," said the squirrel. "Go away." They are practicing different tones using the same sentence. That helps them with adding expression to their reading. This is a new book for your learner and you want them to read it somewhat independently. I would also point out different vocabulary in the story that might get them tripped up or they might see frequently. So for example, the word mitten, they're going to see the word mitten many times in this story. I would also point out the subjects in the story, like the squirrel or the rabbit, will help them predict the kind of words that they're seeing in this story. This is something I actually went over in the reading walk picture strategy, so make sure you check out that video. Partner reading is also great for practicing fluency, and there's a couple of different ways that your learners can do partner reading. I personally like to have my learners do echo reading and choral reading. Choral reading is when you have the learners read the sentence all at the same time. So they would be both reading this sentence, "Once upon a time." So they would, the two or three learners would be reading that at the same time. The other way is to do an echo, and that's basically to have one learner read the sentence and then the other learner to echo after them. So learner number 1 would say "once upon a time," and then learner number 2 would echo it, "once upon a time." And they would keep going throughout the story. Another activity to practice fluency with your learners is sentence trees. And I love using sentence trees with sight words and have them take those sight words and turn them into sentences. So for example, let's say your learner has the word "said" as a sight word, and I want him or her to be able to read it in a sentence. So this is something that I mentioned in a previous video, but I think it would be good to go over it again. And I have a template here that you guys can download. I'll link it in the description down below. So you choose the sight word that your learner needs to practice on, and you create a sentence for them. And each line has one word added until the full sentence is at the bottom. Example, I said the sentence, Mom said clean your room. So in doing this, they're practicing the word said 4 times, and they're also, as they're building up, they're able to say the sentence fluidly because they have practiced it multiple times. Another activity that would help your learner in fluency practice is to have them read the sentence in phrases. So for example, the sentence, I like the book, I would cover up parts of the sentence so that they can practice chunking certain phrases of the sentence together. So for example, I like, so instead of them saying I like, more fluidly they could practice I like the book, he has, and make sure that they also look out for the tone. Think about the tone of how they're reading. A dog, he has a dog. The last thing I wanted to mention in fluency practice is making sure you expose your learners to books that are at their level and that they're interested in. This is so important. I've mentioned this in a bunch of previous videos. But if students are exposed to not only books that they're interested in, but books that are also at their level, you're setting them up for success. So there you have it, friends. 8 fluency practice activities that your learner can do to increase their fluency skills. If you're looking for more tips and tricks on how to teach your learner, make sure you check out teachyoungminds.com. And the question of the day is, what types of activities do you do with your learner to help increase their fluency skills? I'd love to hear them in the comments down below. If you liked this video and you thought it was helpful, make sure you let me know by giving it a like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and share with all your fellow friends who are interested in teaching young minds. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!